Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is March 6th, 2023. Happy Monday. Hopefully, you're doing well. Hopefully, you're getting that lasagna today. Um, let's see. My day has been pretty good. I went back to work after my little 3 day weekend. Um, Work was pretty normal, which was nice. I got out on time, so that was cool. Let's see, food corner. I ate a bunch of pretzels from metal mushroom, no, mellow mushroom, and I got the beer cheese and the marinara sauce this time. So I was double dipping. Ba, 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 and it was very good. And I feel like I've been pretty satisfied for my day. Not like hungry really, so that's nice. Um, Other than that, nothing to really report over here. We're doing good. We're feeling all right. Let's see. We can go ahead and get into some news. How about it? From NBC News, no hazardous material on board 28 cars of the Norfolk Southern Norfolk Southern train derailed in Ohio. Gosh, I really wrecked that. Sorry. Um, Now, I'm sure you're reading this title and you're going like, "Oh, are we talking about East Palestine again? Like all the, like, you're really hammering that home, huh?" No, this is a whole other train derailment. This took place in Springfield, Ohio. Gosh, this was now what? I think about 3 weeks since. Which is pretty fucking crazy. Because yeah, the East Palestine train derailment happened on February 3rd. There's been like several others. Um, but let's see. No hazardous materials were on board the 28 cars of a Norfolk Southern train that derailed Saturday evening in Springfield, Ohio. Officials said in the news at a news briefing. Now, in this one, I believe there's dash cam footage that's available, and there's also footage from a local. Um, I think it goes by the name of Sean. Um, but he had heard a loud bang, and yeah, it was Sean Heaton. I'll just go ahead and read. I was right there, and I was playing on my phone, and then I heard a loud bang. And when I heard the loud bang, I started recording. When I heard the bang, there was all kinds of debris and metal shooting out from under the cars. And that's when I started recording. And you could just see them, and you could see them start jumping off the tracks. Yeah, it was really like surreal because I mean, I'm sure most of you, like me, a lot of Ohio, I feel like there's a train running through it, one way or another. We're very much a transit state, I feel like. Excuse me. And so I've waited on some trains before. It's no fun, but it was eerie to see this train where it's going, but there's like a warble or wobble to it, and you just literally start seeing it just wobble off the rails. It's so scary. And like I said, very surreal because you're seeing this person record it and they're freaking out. But like, I don't know, I'd be like ready to whip my car around. I'd be so scared. Um, Now they say there was no hazardous materials on this train, which obviously differentiates it from the East Palestine situation. There was no need to like do any kind of blow ups or controlled burns or whatever like that. But this did hit some power lines and knocked out a lot of power for people. Also, I believe there was like they had just gotten done from like dropping off diesel, so there was still like a scant amount of diesel in some of the cars, I believe. So there was a potential chance for an incident, but luckily there was no injuries or anything like that. So that's good. And this was a two-man crew operating the train. Um, it's very frustrating though because I feel like to a point the defense here for from Norfolk Southern is that like well like train accidents incidents they happen all the time, like this isn't new. I think they said that there's like up to like gosh, I don't want to like come up with some bullshit number, But it's like a number I believe it's like 1,000, which to me sounded high. But then like they're like for the amount of times a train goes back and forth, and you think about all the trains that are running in America, that's not that bad, I guess. Um, it comes down to like a percentage or like a decimal percentage or something like that. But still, when you're and I hate that also like the media is also pushing this narrative too. Sometimes I'm listening where they're like, oh well, I think there's a bit of like almost train fatigue here because of like the East Palestine thing. Now everyone's hyper focused and looking at all these incidents, and I'm like, not really, because I've covered a few of these incidents, but I haven't covered them all. There's been a ton, and it's crazy to think that every year that there's at least like almost like 1,000 or so of these fucking incidents. Like there should be like none. Um, Especially when you think about how much money these companies are making and how much they're not putting back into their own company. Instead, they're putting it into their shareholders so that they make sure that they make money. That's so fucking backwards to me, because at the end of the day, this is about transferring goods, like goods that America needs, from point A to point B. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't make a profit out of it. Obviously, we live in a fucking society, but it's crazy to me that the focus is so far away from safety that you have skeleton crews who can't even check properly, do safety checks properly, and you're saying let it ride. Fuck it. Like, it's insane to me. I'll leave on one more quote before you go into another train incident. Sandusky, Steubenville, East Palestine, and now Springfield. 4 Norfolk Southern derailments in less than 5 months because of this cooperation because of this corporation has been more concerned with its profit margin than with Ohioan safety. And that's from Senator Sherrod Brown, who's a Democrat in Ohio. Opposite of, like, I guess you can say, what's his fucking name? Oh, god damn it. Vance, JD Vance. JD fucking Vance. Now, I will say this has definitely, not this incident per se, but the East Palestine situation has definitely prompted a little bit more political action. It seems like, people in Congress, at least the Senate, are really trying to do something. Come up with like something that's gonna like do more regulations and safety stuff. But I mean, we'll see. It's got to go through the House and then come through and all that. And I mean, I don't know. If there is something, we'll definitely talk about it. But I am not getting my hopes up as a local Ohioan. Let's move over to another train incident. From CBS News, no injuries in Kansas train derailment, Union Pacific says. So, another train operation company, but same kind of fucking situation. A train with 18 cars filled with grain derailed just outside of Wellington, Kansas on Saturday, just after 5 p.m. Union Pacific confirmed in a statement to CBS News. So, this is kind of a bit less, but this happened the same day that the incident in Springfield, Ohio happened. Also, something I forgot to mention, that it was a 212 car train that was going, which I believe is even more than East Palestine's, which is something I haven't really talked about too much either, is once again that, like, yes, Norfolk Southern is saying, hey, we are going to step up and we're going to, like, put millions into East Palestine to, like, help fix this and all that kind of shit. But they are doing the most that they can to, like, play everything down. But then also, they increase the amount of train operation to make up their loss. And you're seeing these bigger trains running faster and more often. And it's just leading to more fucking problems. Now, Union Pacific is a whole other giant in this situation, a whole other railroad company. But as you can see, I'm still guessing that they have lapses in their safety. And they could probably stand to do some more improvements and focus on that. So, I mean, maybe they're going to fall through the cracks here in this situation. I also feel like, too, both of these situations are going to get swept under the rug a little bit harder, a little bit faster, because of the lack of human impact. like with East Palestine, because of the controlled burn situation, because of it leaking into like the town itself, into the water and the air, it's a bigger concern despite how much the EPA is trying to play it down. Um, because there's no incidents here, I'm sure they're just going to move along here like no worries, no hassle. But I think it's still more of the same, and it goes to show that like we're just letting this shit slide as a country, and that's not good. Like, is it really gonna take people dying instantly, like for that to happen for real? Like, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't take that. So definitely wanted to cover these two. Even though they're minor, they're still, like I said, big trains, big accidents. So let's see here. Let's talk about our president, Joseph Robinette Biden. I don't know why I put on that weird accent, but whatever. From Associated Press, doctor, lesion removed from Biden's chest was cancerous. So, a skin lesion removed from President Joe Biden's chest last month was a basal cell carcinoma, a common form of skin cancer, his doctor said Friday, adding that no further treatment was required. So apparently on the low, Joe Biden had like some skin cancer shit removed, and it was kind of making the news rounds. Honestly, to me, this is kind of a nothing burger. It even says in the article, like before I think he came into office, like there was a similar fucking procedure that he underwent. So it's not really new. Apparently, old Joe in his youth liked to be out in the sun a lot. So, typically that leads to, skin cancer complications in the future. So always, wear sunscreen. Be careful. It's there for a reason. But I do love, let's read a little bit here. Dr. Kevin O'Connor, the White House doctor who has served as Biden's longtime physician, said all cancerous tissue was successfully removed during the president's routine physical on February 16th. Biden, 80 years old, was deemed by O'Connor to be healthy, vigorous, and fit to handle his White House responsibilities during that physical exam, which comes as he is weeks away from launching an expected bid for re-election in 2024. My only beef here is the vigorous part. I've never looked or listened to Biden and thought, man, what a vigorous man. Wow, what a man full of vim and vigor. Like, never, not once. Not since I've been alive. Like at this point, and also this is a fun fact, I guess it's kind of a little bit morbid-ish, but like once, Jimmy Carter dies, Joe Biden's going to be the oldest president, like, period. Like, these guys are old as fucks. They've been old since I've been alive. So, like, I'm not surprised that they have these kind of health complications. Obviously, it's concerning to a point, but it seems like every president in my mind, with the exception of, like, Bill Clinton and, like, Obama, at least in my time, I feel like have always been, like, old fogies, pretty much. They've already been old dudes. Granted, if you're a long time listener to the podcast, my definition of old is a bit childish. I'm the type of guy who's thinking you're biting the bullet at around like 60 something. So, I mean, hey, I'm a bit biased. I'm a bit skewed. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, hey, as long as this dude's kicking and talking, he's cool. All right. I'm glad he's functional. But like I said, this has been making the rounds, been getting blown up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, he had some cancerous cells and they got rid of them. So yay for that. Let's see. We got one more thing to go here. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Ooh, pun intended. I'm gonna get to it. Pre-punning. We do that here. Ooh-wee. Okay. I'm being greedy. From CNN, Toblerone can no longer claim to be Swiss made. So, It is a changing of the times. It is a new era. Um, Toblerone bars, sold in over 100 countries, can no longer be called Swiss chocolate bars because the brand's U.S. owner is moving some production out of Switzerland. So Mondelez, which is the owner of Toblerone, is moving some of its manufacturing to a what is it? A Slovakian plant um, in the capital of Bratislava. Um, but I guess that's kind of made her kerfuffle because I think in like what 2016, um, Sweden made a thing that like they want to preserve their Swissness. So it's the Swissness Act. So national symbols and the Swiss cross are not permitted on products that don't meet Swissness criteria. So you need to have let's see, the chocolate needs to be, or at least the item, in order to be Swiss made, needs to be produced with 80% of the raw materials sourced from Switzerland, increasing to 100% for milk and dairy products. So essential processing must also be done in the country, with exceptions for national products that cannot be sourced from Switzerland, such as coca. So essentially, okay, no more burps for baby. So this is marking a change now. Like they kind of have to then say, all right, we got to take some things off the logo. We're gonna make a new logo. I think the formation of the chocolate bar isn't going to change. It's still going to be the little mountaintop thing, which I gotta say, maybe for some people that's cute. I can count on my hand how many times I've eaten a fucking Toblerone because I don't really love them. Like they're just chocolate bars. I will say the chocolate is better as I've gotten older. If I compare it to like a Hershey bar, I probably would rather a Toblerone. But I don't like the whole speed bump thing that they're trying to do here. Not a big fan of that. The packaging is fine. It seems like nice and old and authentic in a way or whatever, but now it's going to be changing to something different. I think there's going to be like a mountain on there, but it's just going to be like a generic mountain. It's not going to be like the Matterhorn or whatever. Um, so, I mean, I think just the brand itself is just going to take a new look. So, I mean, we'll see what that's going to be when it happens. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was interested in the fact that I'm a fatty who loves chocolate, and also the idea of like nationality being so important, like that it bleeds into your products and not just like the products, but the labeling, the packaging, all that kind of shit. So that was neat. That was fun. Figured I'd go ahead and give that some traction on the pod. But yeah, other than that, that's about it. Short episode, nice and sweet. To my newsies who might listen to this in the future, thank you so much. I love you. You're the best. Long kisses. Hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye.